How's it going, everybody? Welcome to 2A News Now. And I really do appreciate you taking your time tuning into my video. First of all, I want to apologize that I didn't make a video in the past couple of days, but I was on grandpa duty, and we know how important grandpa duty is. And like most of you, I was shocked and horrified what I saw on Saturday with the attempted assassination of Donald Trump and the lack of protection that he had. The Secret Service is there to stop things like this happening, not for it to happen and then take action. You don't have to be an expert in security to know that somebody screwed up royally, or it was done intentionally. How can you leave a building that has a roof with a straight shot to the president, unattended, that's less than 200 yards away? And they have citizens pointing out that there's someone on that roof with a rifle. And then we hear that possibly a police officer climbed up on that roof and the shooter pointed the rifle at him and he descended back down the ladder. Some say he fell back down the ladder. And then the shots rang out. And then you hear these unconfirmed stories that for 3 minutes, the sharpshooter that was on the roof, he was wanting confirmation that he could kill the shooter. The roof should have never been unattended. There should have been somebody from security on that roof. The person that pulled the trigger is ultimately to blame for what happened. But in my opinion and a lot of others, he was radicalized. And radicalized by who? The Democrats. And you say, Troy, how so? The Democrats and the Democrat-leaning media, ever since Donald Trump became the 45th president of the United States, have bombarded people with lies and innuendos about President Trump. We've heard him compared to Hitler and Stalin and others. They said if he became president, he would start a war. And he didn't. They claimed the economy would go in the shitter. And it went the actual opposite. A lot of people were thriving under Donald Trump. The border was under control. Inflation was at a near record low. We had money in our pockets. We could afford food. We could afford electricity. And now it's just the opposite. They didn't impeach the man once, they impeached him twice. They convicted him of 34 felonies, which were supposed to have been misdemeanors. They're trying to break him financially. So here's just a little bit of how you radicalize somebody to try to shoot a former president. By someone posting on Joe Biden's official account. We know it's not Joe Biden because there's no way he would be able to post anything on any type of account. So it's one of his handlers. And this was posted a couple of weeks ago. Donald Trump is a genuine threat to this nation. He's a threat to our freedom. He's a threat to our democracy. He's literally a threat to everything America stands for. And you just look at that and you say, what the hell is wrong with people? He said in a speech just a couple of days before the assassination attempt, he told his donors it was time to put Trump in the bullseye. And this guy did, and almost succeeded. And then you have this guy, Democrat Benny Thompson. He was the top Democrat on Nancy Pelosi's J6 committee. And a couple of months ago, he called to strip Donald Trump of his Secret Service protection completely. And then you had the Russian collusion stories. And like I said, the left-leaning media just totally bombarding not only Donald Trump, but his supporters, saying the people that support Donald Trump are MAGA supporters, and they're extremists. You have those nagging hens on The View spreading lies every single day about Donald Trump. And you have somebody like Harry Sisson on TikTok, who's a paid shill by the Democrat Party, to spread hate and lies as well. It's a wonder that something like this hasn't happened already. And one thing I want to point out, that after this happened, that former President Trump was almost assassinated. There were no riots. There were no looting of stores. There was no burning of buildings and cities. That shows you who we are. We sure as hell know it would have been different if it happened to President Biden. The Democrats claim they're the party of tolerance. You've got to be freaking kidding me. That's far from the truth. And there's a lot more I could go over. But one of the last things I wanted to talk about is how can a person be given the job of the director of the Secret Service that before that worked for Pepsi? And one of the first things she did was DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. She wants to make it that 30% of the workforce are women. And I'm not saying that women can't be Secret Service agents. I'm sure there's a lot of good ones out there. But we all saw the one woman who was a Secret Service agent. The picture and video of her hiding behind the group of the other Secret Service agents that were clustered around the president. She was cowering behind them. And then when they were taking him off stage and they made it to the limousine, She almost stumbles and falls. She sees a fellow Secret Service agent who is also a woman. She had pulled her sidearm, so she thought that she should do it as well. That's great. But then once they got the president in the limousine and they were about to drive away, she couldn't holster her freaking pistol. You can see in the video she tried over and over again, and then she brought it up like it was nothing. That's the type of person that we have protecting Donald Trump? Are you freaking kidding me? I will say though, the one woman Secret Service agent that was on stage, she had her hair in a bun. I thought she did a great job. When they were trying to get him up and get him off stage, and that freaking podium was in the way, she actually covered the president and put her arms around the other Secret Service agents to protect Donald Trump. But some heads need to roll, and it needs to start with the top. The director of the Secret Service needs to resign immediately. And if she's not willing to do that, she needs to be fired. And whoever set up the protection outside that perimeter, whether it be one or more than one person, needs to resign or should be fired and should face some type of jail time. To leave that roof unattended should be a crime. And the one last thing that I want to say, that people who are posting on social media that they wish this guy hadn't missed, or he should have done some more training so he didn't miss. You people are absolutely disgusting, and you're un-American. You don't deserve to be in this country. We can have our differences, but let me tell you something. I would never wish anything like that on anybody, especially Joe Biden. Unfortunately, he's our president for right now, and he might only be a shell of himself, and I will never make fun of him for what's happening to him mentally, because it's not his fault. I took care of my mom for years who had dementia. That man has dementia and has no business running the country, but I still wouldn't wish anything hateful or anything bad to happen to him. And what this attempted assassination has done is made it so that Donald Trump will be the next president of the United States. And I'd really like to hear your thoughts about today's video in the comment section down below. And as always, I appreciate everybody's support with the channel. You guys are always crushing it by liking, sharing, and subscribing and hitting those post notifications. And I really do appreciate it. And I invite you to come back and watch my next video.